Why don't you come all this front this side? That easy. You can see. I can see your face. Yeah. You have the seats are there. Okay, I think maybe some may come a little bit late because of the traffic, right? So I think we'll start anyway. This brief paper, today we are going to discuss the part of the physical and infrastructure component. The road and transport part is given to me. Now I will try to go through what we wanted to discuss on this the road and transport section. I am Bandara. Now I am working as a consultant for Strategic City Development Project, Ministry of Urban Transport, Urban Development. Now I am retired from Road Development Authority. Today actually we will discuss this road and highways part. I think everybody is, this subject is everybody's subject. Nobody can go away from the roads and transport, right? You all know that without that you will not be here today for this sessions, right? Isn't it? You can give me some answers if you are, right? When you talk about our history in our country, actually this transporting was there for quite long, but when you are talking about our transporting systems, prior to the 1950, it's a very several centuries it was same, not much of activities. Only the economy was local consumption, not much of everybody satisfied with what is available in the village, in their locality. They don't have to go very far. No business is outside, right? So they want to have their satisfied within their village, not much of thing. And also there is no case of distance, no much of travel. Whatever available in the village, you satisfied. And there is no sense of the speed. Now of course we are talking about speed. Higher the speed is much we wanted to go, right? Now earlier we are not satisfied the normal road, we wanted the expressways to go at high speed, right? But those days, those people, same like us, they also lived, born and died without much of concern over that. But now we have changed into the different situation. At that time also in our country we had some road, right? After that, with the British activities, things had going to change. We start production of some raw material like, the rubber, coffee, the tea, coconut. So at that time, start transporting of these goods. They wanted to send it out from the country, right? What they used earlier, it was the bullock cart. Right, and then they wanted to bring it railway, and in the shipment they may have used some inland waters and some coastal shipping. This is some of the road in that period. Actually very few roads. It was all, even now we are dominating that part. All the roads are concentrated to the Colombo, or right, is coming from the central part. Maybe some road of course they built for different purpose. The early 19th century, the motor vehicle altered the concept of passenger and goods transportation. The cart transport, with the vehicle coming in, in the 19th century, the car and the lorry came in. So they need some road. Road construction was started they won't have a permanent roads, which can be used during even rainy season, rainy weather, high, right? Those roads that we use. Then only they start different type of construction also. It says in the, say about 1905, we had about 3,165 miles of road in our country. In the history says in the 1902, our first passenger car came into Sri Lanka, and the lorry came in 1907. Then the road system was gradually increasing, extended and improved. After 1945, it was turned into the different situation because a lot of vehicle came in. After World War II, start the mass production of the car and the lorry. So the vehicle also came into our country also. So that make demand for more roads. When you see the statistics, you can see that there are in 1946 about 10,000 miles. Now we have 116,000 kilometers right? It's a very high number of roads. We have at the moment of A, B, C, D, and now here we don't have that E class, which is expressways. When you take out the landmarks of our country, in the road sector, one is the, as I said earlier, the first car came in 1902, the lorry came in 1907, then the bridge of boat near Colombo to cross the Kalin River was completed in 1822. It was used, this bridge of boat is up to 1895. Then the Kandy, you will know that the road to Kandy, they construct two roads. One is from to the Kadugannava, other one from the Galagedara, that side, from Kurunagala. It was completed in 1831. 1985, after the bridge of boat, they construct this Victoria Bridge, that is a steel bridge. This is the bridge of boat. They kept a lot of boats across the river and put a platform, and they used to transport their goods through the cart. When the rain comes, water level goes up, either they have to remove these old boats, or if suddenly came, the whole thing is washed away. That was the situation at that time. This is the Victoria Bridge. Now this place we have the Japan Friendship Bridge. That is the same place, Japan Friendship Bridge. Earlier it was the bridge of boat with the boats, then the Victoria Bridge, British built. A British, of course, the bridge of boat also the British, they have did it. The Japan Friendship Bridge we constructed, first part is in 2000, year 2000. When you talk about the policies of the road work and the transportation, the British objective of construction of road is to the road constructed to hold the island together as a single unit. What they want to send their army to their locations to control our people. That's what one of their aim. They want to connect their garrisons, access to get from Colombo to get their garrisons connected to the Colombo. That's what their aim in the first. Then after that, it was turned into some political authority. Then the economic situation came, like the transporting of this rubber, tea, coconut. Then plantation and agriculture started. Then the construction was diverted into this situation, like where the plantations are there, they start the construction of the roads in that area. The economic policy is the tax. Road construction actually and maintenance was done mainly to collect their tax. and also they charge using the roads. Because of that, you can see that a lot of roads are built in that the plantation area, and all this the maintenance construction was done using the money they have collected at that time, not like now. Now we don't have any tax or anything, right? But only the fuel tax. But even that is not enough to construct the roads. This is the whole situation at present. Now we have about 116,000 kilometers. Of course, this is not exact number. Still, we don't have a big exact database. But of course, the national roads about 1265. That is about A class, B class, and the expressways. Then the provincial road is about 15,000, almost 16,000, 15,500. There are some other roads, local roads, and the Pradesh Sabha road about 84,000, and other sectors like Mahavali, Land Ministry, like irrigation, they have some 4,000 kilometers. This is the whole network in our country. When you talk about our country, the network, we are very much higher in close to our neighbors. The density kilometer per square kilometer is about 1.5. It is much higher than our neighbors. That means we have very good access to our land. This is the map. You can see that this is of course A and B roads only. The A and B roads are distributed very reasonably within our country. This is the network with the expressways proposed and ongoing. There is about 8,000 kilometers, 800 kilometers expressways are proposed at present. There may be increased later or may be reduced. That depend on the government policy. I just wanted to give you some idea what mean by the access and mobility. Access is a fixed requirement. Actually, the both end of trip, your trip, there is two access. When you start from, that is one end, your trip is ended, that's your end trip. Any trip you have two ends, that is actually the access requirement. When you talk about the mobility, now we have the mobility, we can define a different indicators. The speed, road condition, the degree of congestion, that's mobility is measured by that. That means our network, we have a good access, that's what I said. We have a large number of roads. What about the mobility? Can you satisfy? Right? That depends. Earlier days, we have a lot of, now about maybe 4 or 5 years back, you are all the time is complaining that a lot of pothole, you can't drive, whenever avoid the one pothole, you go into other one. Like that, lot of pothole. So condition. That is also one mobility issues, right? Now you have lot of good roads, you have carpeted roads, but you are telling you can't drive because of narrow width, right? So the issue of the mobility there again. We have a lot of roads, but only the capacity is limited. It is limiting the mobility. That's what the government wanted to go for the expressways, where the capacity of the existing road cannot be increased without having a large damage to the society and the social and the environment. That's what when you are talking about a classification of road, in the whole road classification system, we classified into the mobility and accessibility. Let's go land access. The two end of type of roads. One is arterials, one is local access. They are different. Now you can see that the mobility is here. Arterial roads mobility is very high, the big area, but accessibility is very limited. When you talk about the local roads, you have a lot of, they are given accessibility but very little mobility. You can drive on a very slow speed. Here you can drive in a high speed. This is another way of that demonstration the situation. When you talk access property is increasing, it become a local. When the true movement is increasing, the speed increase, it become a arterial and freeway. This is when you are classify the roads. The purpose of classification of road, there are many the reasons. One is for the administrative purpose. And also the other one is to assign the ownerships. Classification we have done, we can do actually now at the moment we have a classification is A and B road for national roads, which is belong to the road development authority. C and D class roads are the provincial roads, right? It's belong to the 9 provincial councils. There's a one-year classification, but that classification is no meaning of the functionality. It not says that it is arterial or local roads, right? So those classification is only for is given for the administration purpose only, but it's not enough. Especially now, actually, we have to go for this functional classification because of the situation, the mobility and accessibility requirement. Now, you talk about the A1 road, which is Colombo to Kandy. Now, that is the highest level of road at the ground in terms of A class road, right? But what is the mobility level? Who can't satisfy. So if you classify that road as in a level of now either arterial or some level, so we have to limit the accessibility. Otherwise, you will not get the mobility function on that road, right? Then we have to do the redesign the road. Maybe we have to put the service road in the both side, right? That's a difficult situation. That's what actually we are going for this expressways. Now this classification is doing also for the giving the standard to the roads. What is the width of the road? How many lanes to be provided? That for that situation also we need this classification. Now when you are normally understanding is how we are going to do this classification. First we have to understand what is our nodes, what are our centers of connectivity, like district center, provincial centers, commercial establishment centers, maybe the hospitals, public service centers, like that we have to identify the centers. Then we have to group these centers into a different level, which are the hierarchy, which is maybe the district or provincial center is hierarchy, district center maybe next one, then maybe hospital is another one, like that. Then only we have to decide what type of facility we have to provide between these two locations, like from district center to district center, what is the facility we are going to provide, whether the 4-lane or 2-lane road. Provincial centers, what is the capacity we are going to provide. That type of understanding have to be done based on this classification process. Now if you, for this purpose, actually the process is that we have to do it, that is called a trip. However, then when there is there are 2 or 3, now these two, one city and there is another city, then the town center, there are maybe some other 2-3 centers. You should do the traffic analysis and see how the traffic is moving. Maybe from here there are some trips, there from some trips, and if this width is denoted by number of trips, just assume that, right? In that way now you can put this one, this is very high trips, you will put this is called arterial. Now if you have Gunathilake, Kandy, Colombo, right? If you know that these two have a very high number of trips between these two, you can put an arterial, right? If you have less traffic in this area, you put these are the collector roads and the local road in between these two. Like this is the way you are going to do the qualification. If you are really, if you want to do the qualification. Now, this classification every day you can't keep as it is. Now it was in the, maybe if you, I don't know whether if you can remember from about 10 years or 15 years back, even Colombo Kandy road you can go about 50 km/h average. But now things have been completed, now only 20-25 km/h average. So the things are changing. So what we have to do, we want to do the classification, maybe every 5 years we have to reclassify, maybe we have to add some capacity. That type of analysis has to be do when you do have a classification system. Now this is, I just wanted to give you how our traffic at the moment, like this is 2011, actually the trips, how our trips are going like this. Now if you do the classification in this period, maybe we have done, we will do these are maybe arterial like this. But if you forecast the traffic in 2020, this will become, there are a lot of arterial have to bring it, right? Accordingly, there are many, the countries have, they use different type of classification, arterial, collectors and local roads. There are a lot of groupings, right? Arterial, motorways and divided arterial, principal arterials, minor arterials, then collectors, major collectors, public road. But now you can see there is nothing here called expressways, right? Actually the expressways are coming in here. Different countries they use a different word, right? Just to give some idea how it the level of the land access and the interstate, these are different level of the road. When you talk about our country, as I said earlier, we have a good access, but mobility questionable, right? Actually, at the moment, what we want is to have a functional classification. We have not done it. We have to do it. When you talk about the road demand, road and rail is now at the moment. This is the demand. They are for passenger. The road, we are 92% of the passenger demand is carried by roads. Only 8% is rail. When you freight, 98% is from road, right? Only 2% from rail. That is the situation. But we wanted to increase actually this level. Then only we can release this load from the roads. Why this roads demand is increased? Why the high demand for road? Can you give anybody can have idea? Any one or two reasons? I have given few. But we have very well spread network, so the road demand is high. Rail access is limited. You can't get every place rail, right? But even now, there are some goods transportation you can do by rail. Early it was done now, say petroleum transportation. Some time back, it was mainly by rail. But what happened? Now is large percentage is from the road. All the bouncers. Earlier there was no bouncer transporting from Colombo to Anuradhapura, Colombo to Trinco like that, right? Now there are a lot of road transporting of fuels. That is actually the making a very high load to the road. One reason is the deteriorating the railway also. Railway transportation has going down and down and down, right? You don't now rely on the rail transport. That's one of the reason. Now the road demand is increasing in the two way now. Our vehicle population is increasing. Every day our new vehicles are registered. It will come somewhere, we can see that. Because of the vehicle number of vehicle increase, road demand for the road increase. When the new vehicle comes, their speeds are different. Now earlier we have minor cars, your speed you can go more than 40 or 50, that is the maximum speed you can get. But now 100, 120 is very easy, right? Any car you can drive now. So our roads have to be changed to meet that demand. Not only the capacity, not only the smoothness, but even curves, high speed, we have to provide that demand. And also our people's income is increasing. Now because of that, you can buy a car, right? Maybe when you start your work, you will buy the motorcycle, Then again you will go to the car, right? The demand is increasing with the income increase. That is normal, the economic situation. With this meeting the demand, the government came into a strategy how we are going to meet this demand. First thing actually what they have decided to rehabilitate and improve the existing road network. That is the first part, right? Any agency what they do, what they will increase their capacity by rehabilitation and improvement, surfacing improvement, capacity improvement like. Then congestion start from the towns. So what they do, they will do some bypasses, ring roads, right? Then only the expressways, the high mobility networks development. Then now only we are thinking about how we are going to meet this urban traffic flows, urban situation, where this road capacity increase will not address the situation, will not enough. I want you to actually account to your the requirement. Actually, the expressway network, you want to have some idea what is the expressway network at the present. That is one of your the area you have to study. At the moment, the Road Development Authority is in charge of the development of expressways on behalf of the central government. They have identified about 8,800 kilometers to cover the expressway network. That's at the present they are they are all are different development stage. As I told earlier, the 1978, with the liberalization of the economy, a lot of vehicle came in, demand increased. It was very rapid because of the situation of the open economy. Traffic volume going to start very rapidly. So a lot of issues came in the road network. So the government thought how we are going to meet this situation. Then what they did, they got some loans and started the improvement of the road network, surfacing some capacity improvement, but that didn't satisfy the situation, because if you want the road to improve, maybe we'll put a 4-lane or 6-lane road. What happened? You have to demolish the both sides of the houses, where you can't do that because of a lot of social impact. So in that situation, the government decided to go for a different network. That's where the expressway came in. Existing system of trunk road will not be adequate to cater the increase in traffic demand, and some of the important trunk roads have already reached the capacity where they cannot widen. Then only the expressway additional capacity requirement came in. So as you all know that the first expressway is Southern Expressway, which is started in November 2011. Then again 2014 extended up to Matara. You know that Katunayaka is now in operation starting from 2013. The OCH, Outer Circular Road, the first one is opened in first section, March 2014. Some of the other express are in progress now at the moment. The OCH balance sections, Southern Expressway extension, the expressway to Kandy and North. Then they are in the physical planning they are talking about Hambantota Expressway, then expressway to Ratnapura. They are talking, these are the expressway network under consideration at the moment. These are the some of the distribution of the expressway network. If you take a closer area, this is the main area we are going to cover the expressways. First one, as you know, that is a Southern Expressway, which is starting from Kottava to Matara. This is the 126 kilometers. It's cost about 95 billion. This is a 4-lane expressway, right? There are 11 interchanges. You know, like you must have traveled all this, isn't it? I think everybody must have gone even at least to see the expressway, right? This is a toll highway, toll road, right? This operation of expressway, now these are some of the interchanges. There are the emergency centers for the operation and management. There are the police patrolling stations along this expressway. Also the RD also they have the patrolling. They will look after the how is there any falling object, and both police also they will do the patrolling. The road development authority also they do the patrolling to see the operation of the expressway in a smooth way. The operation and the management and the maintenance of these expressways are not that simple as the normal road. Then I just the second is the outer circular expressway. The first section is already completed, and this is also 4-lane expressway. Here a lot of elevated sections. Even the first section we have about 3.2 kilometers elevated. The second section now under nearly completion, now is going to open soon. 4.9 kilometers is elevated. The next third one is about 5.9 kilometers are elevated. It will start soon. There was some delay. I don't know what the reason of that. They will start soon. This is the view from the expressway, the elevated section of first section of the OCH. This is a Kottawa interchange. Then the Gunathilake Expressway, this is going through coastal area up to Gunathilake from the Paliyagoda. This is about 25.8 kilometers, and these are the cost, $292 million US. These are some of the view of the OCH near the sea area. Close. Then the southern highway extension is from Mathura to Hambantota. I think they are going to start now. It's from Godagama to Mattala and Hambantota is also 4-lane. There will be 8 interchanges. And now they have signed some commercial contract, and they are nearly going to start soon, as the information at today actually. This is the alignment. It's going through the Beliyatta and then Angurakola Palace, Matiya, Andaravava, and then Mattala Airport, and then we'll give access to the Hambantota area. Next one is the Colombo North and the Kandy link. At the moment, they have identified the it's like this from Colombo from Enderamulla to Dambulla and Kandy. There are a lot of discussion and issues going on now, whether to start from Enderamulla or Kadawatha, right? They may soon decide which place to go and restart. There are earlier started actually we have studied from Kadawatha to Kadawatha and then go to Ambiyapussa and go to the Kurunagala, then links to Kandy, and then later start from Enderamulla. Now their things are in under discussion. They have put it into the evaluation again. Then there is a proposal to link the Hambantota to Batticaloa area with the expressway network. Only the study they have done under the physical planning they have identified. These are the expressways from Mattala Airport to the Batticaloa and Trinkum area. That way the length is about 182 kilometers. Just also they propose to have a 4-lane facility. Under the physical planning, actually they have identified there are growth centers, like metro centers, Jaffna, then the Trincomalee, Anuradhapura, and that's the one cluster here, and again the Colombo, another growth center, and the Hambantota and Ampara. Those are the major metro cities. For that purpose, actually the physical planning wanted to have a different, including these expressways, they want to have a different expressway network. The high mobility network may not be the expressways, maybe very high capacity roads. Those are the physical planning they have proposed. Later the government will go for this type of expressway network development. When you discuss about the expressways, I just wanted to give some idea why this expressways and how is wanted to understand the expressways. Normally says now this road is normally you say public road. They will say public road. When you talk about really public, the roads are not really pure public, right? Now let's talk about defense. The defense. Now you enjoy the defense, right? Our forces, they will give you security. Once you have the defense in mind, I have the defense, but because of I am enjoying that one, but you are not going to suffer for that. You also have the same thing, right? But road is not like that. It's not that public, right? Road, once you get, somebody is going to use it, but once you get congested, you are not allowed to enter. You cannot enter. It's not that public. It's not really, it's called pure public. So because of that, there should be a way of charging it, right? Some way, either petrol or my toll. So that's why the expressways, we want to make it limited to the people who are really, maybe which you can afford. That's what we wanted to charge it. To make the people to use it who they want. Right? Otherwise, you know, the utility value is not be there. Now the expressways, why the expressways are using? Well, they wanted to go faster. If everybody will start using, what will happen? If you are, so other people cannot enjoy the situation, right? Normally the expressways actually you can't, normally the expressways you can't, the roads cannot put into the market. There is no way of trading, way of that, demand and supply, right? Government policy is govern what we are going to do, how many length of expressway we are going to do it. Now the Korea, the expressways they develop, their policy is whether it's the economically viable or not, but they have decided the policy. 30 minutes from any point of the country, it should access the expressway network within 30 minutes. That is their policy, right? Within 30 minutes, you should be access the policy. Like that, government decide the policy, how many length of kilometers are going to put it in the expressways. Of course, now as you all know that the expressway provides the safety. Safety is actually compared to other roads, expressways are very more safer. They designed to the standards, right? Expressways are controlled properly, maintained properly, so safety is high. Of course, its speed high, and also its convenience. That's why you pay for it, right? Of course, it reduces the travel time, and then it increase the mobility of the people, and it will generate some economic activities in the country. And also it will allow the development of industries in different areas, right? And also that is, of course, you know that tourism is much benefited with that expressways, and also it creates new jobs. That's the expressways, right? Now then again I wanted to discuss about the road maintenance. Before going to transport, I wanted to complete this road maintenance. Maintenance is a very important part. The roads and means of transport make a crucial contribution to economic development and growth and bring the important social benefits. Poor maintained roads contain mobilities, significantly raise the vehicle operating cost, increase the accident rate and the associated human and property cost, and aggravate the isolation, poor health, poverty, health and illiteracy of rural community. Actually, if you have a poor roads, your connectivity is less. If you have good roads, properly maintained roads, your connectivity is high. Then you have access to your hospital, easy, right? You can access to the education. That means the maintenance of road is very, very important part of this our road network. And also the roads are very much the public assets in the country. We have spent a lot of money. Now I remember about 2014, the RDA budget is 150 billion, right? That is a big amount of government is spending for the roads. So a lot of money is spent in the road, so that is a big asset to the government. So what we have to do, actually we have to maintain it to preserve that asset. That is very, very important, right? What happened? But anyway, all the people, even our country, most of the countries, they, especially the politicians, they prefer to go for new construction rather than maintenance. Because maintenance, you can't see anything, you can't gain in terms of the politics, right? But only the maintenance will preserve the asset, but you will not give any additional show to those people. Because of that, they tend to invest for the construction, not the maintenance. The much capital cost of the road construction is financed from the donors. In our country also same, lot of construction and are funded by donors. So because of that, we see that it is cheaper, because our treasury budget is not going for that, right? The treasury money is not going for that. So because of that, we think that it is cheaper because the donor funded. It's not a really case actually. Normally the maintenance fund is coming from the local money. So because that, the maintenance allocations are very, very limited. Really speaking, the total budget allocated for the country for maintenance should be about 70%, and 30% should go to the construction, new construction. But what happened is the other way. Only 30%, even less, for maintenance. New construction will go for 70%. That is wrong actually. That will make the network worse. Timely management of a road is benefit to everyone, right? Now there's the understanding of that. Now if you delay a $1 maintenance, it will add another $3 to the vehicle operating cost, which is the user have to pay additional amount, right? The fuel is high consumption, his brakes is wasted, tire is wasted, right? Engine and maybe other parts are high consumed. He has to spend $3 more if the government agency or the road maintaining agency not spend $1. And also later they have to spend more money for the construction and rehabilitation. That is about $2. If you not invest $1, now the $5 is wasting, right? That is the maintenance the scenario. If you make a good maintenance system, you can reduce these $5. Only $1 you can spend. The goal of maintenance is to preserve the assets, not to upgrade it. Unlike the major road network, unlike major road work, maintenance must be done regularly. Road maintenance comprises the activities to keep the pavement, shoulder, slope, drainage facilities and all structures and property within the road margin near as possible as constructed or renewed. The maintenance to keep the original situation continued. Actually, for the maintenance, we categorize into three categories. One is called routine, recurrent, and periodic maintenance. And there's another one is urgent maintenance, like when there is a flood or anything, we have to do the urgent maintenance. Mainly the three categories. So, when you do the construction, road will be there in the excellent situation. So what happens if you without maintain anything, no routine, no maintenance, what will happen? The road will be deteriorated. Then what we have to do it, we have to do again the construction and bring it to the original situation. And again deteriorate. This cycle is going like that. when you do some the routine maintenance, you can extend your life to some extent, and it will be during a different period. But again, same thing happens. Then we have to bring it to the situation, and we have to do the spend the same money. Once you do the preventive maintenance, what we will do, you will not allow to deteriorate that level, reconstruction level. You will add some money, and then you bring it to the situation. You can extend the life without failure of the road. So that's why the maintenance is very, very important to keep this your asset in the original situation. The maintenance classification, as I said, is routine maintenance, recurrent, periodic and urgent maintenance. These are the components of the roads: carriageway, shoulder and drains, road reservation, embankment slope, cut slopes, footwalks, center median. There are a lot of components of the road. Those all are to be maintained. These are if you take the connecting, what routine maintenance, what you the pothole patching, weeding, general upkeeping, and for the urgent maintenance. Now after flooding, maybe you have to do the restoration work. Periodic maintenance, base correction, surface application, right? And the recurrent maintenance is the repairs, crack sealing, pothole patching, other activities to be carried out. The routine and recurrent maintenance, a small scale work conducted regularly to ensure the daily passability and safety of existing road in a short run to prevent the premature deterioration of the road. That is the routine and the recurrent maintenance. These are the activities now we are going to, as I said, recutting drain, scupper drain, desilting, painting of bridges, and those are the routine maintenance. Recurrent maintenance is the pothole patching, depression correction, crack sealing. If gravel road, maybe the repair pothole, rutting and depression correction. Periodic maintenance is a little bit more intensive of work. Preserve the structural integrity. We have to do the overlay, and we have to do the corrections of the resealing. That type of activities we call periodic maintenance. When you talk about road, there are a lot of the distresses. We call it distresses. What are the? One is the roughness. If your roughness increase, there's a distress. Severe damage, the surface deformation, edge damage, cracking, the potholes. Those are the things. Now there are these are called distresses. This is I just wanted to introduce now. The micro level undulation is of the surface. The roughness is called the micro level undulation. It is measured in meter per kilometer, millimeter per kilometer. That is a smoothness of the road is measured. With the use of the road, this roughness is increased. So this will relate to the vehicle operating cost. Once the road is higher up, the more vehicle operating cost. These are the severe damage, something like that. Now this is one of the slide down the surface. Is the severe damage due to landslide, maybe extensive potholes also can happen. The severe damage. This also the due to the tidal waves, the severe damage is the washed away all the road. The deformation, corrugation, depression, and raveling and showing. These are some of the understanding of these are the deformation, depression, and corrugation. You can see how we are going to identify the deformations. This is showing and the raveling. You can see all this in your road surface, right? This corrugation are due to with the slippage of due to the poor bonding between the surface underlying layers, lack of pack coat, right, and due to acceleration and braking of the vehicles, are the reason for this corrugation happening. There are some depressions This is due to the poor drainage system and also the excessive fill material, and also the underneath, if you have the coarse material is a rounded particle, that also reason for these depressions. High asphalt content also is situation for the depression. The potholes, there are different categories: shallow pothole, medium pothole, and deep potholes. Right? These are the, you know, to understand the pothole. Of course, everybody knows that potholes. When you are going to repair the pothole, actually we have to do it very correctly. We have to cut it into the squares, and then only remove the loose material, and then you have to clean it, and have a tack coat, and then fill with the material, and compact, and clean it, and then again they seal it. These are the way how to do it, but our people are doing in a different way, right? We will bring and allow the vehicle to compact, right? Just fill it and go, and then the vehicle will do the compaction. Then the edge cracking, right? Edge cracking is due to the traffic load, environmental situation, different heavy rains, when the road surface is getting moisture, crack can happen. There may be reason for the construction defect also. The shoulder, when the road is eroded, the edge can be cracked. The maintenance treatment is the crack filling or crack sealing, then maybe overlay or shoulder maintenance also required to reduce this cracking. Like this, these are the edge failures. These some of the washed away with the edges. The cracks, different type of cracks are there. The block cracks, alligator cracks, longitudinal and diagonal cracks. A lot of categorization. These are some alligator cracks. You can see that it is the block different like alligator's surface. Alligator cracks, transverse cracks, longitudinal and transverse cracks. You can see that the surface has cracked. These are the crack sealing. They do the bituminous sealing of the crack. Then most important part is the drainage maintenance on the road. The road surface is have to be protected from the water. Normally, if you ask the maintenance engineer what is the main cause of the road deterioration, he will say water. What is the first cause? The water. If you ask what is the second cause, he will say again water. The third, he say again water. The water is the most the damaging effect to the road surface, because if the water gets penetrated into the surface, the damage starts. This drainage maintenance is to remove this water away from the road surface. That is the most important part of road maintenance. That's why the drainage activities and the slope are keeping to drain away the water. Now, this is the way of water getting in. With the rain, you will get the surface water. If you can get to the base and surface, from the groundwater level, it will come into the surface, right? When there is a cutting, the hill area, when the water is deep into there, it can come into the road surface. From the verge, also the water can into the surface. So all we have to prevent the water getting into the surface. All this drainage activity and cleaning, culverts, all these are to prevent this water getting into the road base and surface. The first thing is the slopes. The paved road, we keep 2 to 3% slope. That is the water to go away from the road surface. And the gravel, we keep about high slopes, 4 to 6%. In the shoulder, normally we keep 6% to drain away the water. Then we put a scupper drain, side drains to take the water out away from the road surface. These are some of the drain types, right? You can read some from the your maintenance books. right? This is to reduce the water table in that, remove the water table coming close to the surface. We put a barrier here, maybe some concrete edge or something like scupper drain, perforated drain to take the water away. Water table make the away from the road surface. These are the construction of culvert, that is to remove the cross water. So this is construction of drain, remove the overburden head, also to reduce the water stagnation of the near the surface. These are some of the drain activities. Now you can see that surface damage because of the water collection. There is a lot of damage to the road because of the water collection. The periodic maintenance, what you do actually, you have to strengthen during the periodic maintenance. You have to will strengthen the road. What you have to do, you have to analyze the road surface. What is your traffic load? What is the surface availability strength? And then you decide what type of surface you are going to put, SBST, DBST or asphalt concrete, and the thickness all are depend on the road surface life, available life and the traffic load. You will do the pavement analysis and then decide what type of surface you are going to do it. These are unpaved road maintenance, pothole pathing, grading, regaveling. When you talk about the bridge maintenance, as you all know that the bridges are the most the high invested part of the roads, very costly item in the road, because if the bridges break down, what happens? You will cut off from your access. Normally the bridges is designed for to say 75 to 100 years. So bridge maintenance is very, very important to keep this bridge life. If you not maintain, what happens is any money you invested is going to be waste. What are the deterioration for maintenance? You have to inspect this type of cover of the river bed, settlement of foundation, right? Then you have to check the cracking of abutment, wing wall, all this, and whether the vegetation is growing on the bridge. Those things you have to check it, right? Then the superstructure, is there any jam of the bearings, corrosion of members, the water leakage, expansion joint or faulty or ineffective or maybe blocked, painting we have to check in the steel bridges. So those are the activities we carried out in the bridge maintenance. Some of now see, you can see the covering of the bridge, right? The cracking of the abutment and spalling of concreting. The slab concrete has fallen down. All the reinforce is exposed. It's culvert, you can see the culvert has damage, so, right? All you have to check it and you have to do the repair, maybe reconstruction. See, these are some damage of the culvert. Big hole, this road is not passable. Some more they are, right? In the bridge maintenance, actually the minor repairs and we have to structural repairs, remove the loose material and repairs and replace the damaged part, like painting. We have to do wood. If the wood bridges are there, you have to remove repair the wood parts. Periodic maintenance, what we do in the random stone filling, retaining wall, river bed cover. If there are any covering, you have to put an apron. Maybe you put a gabion wall and to protect the covering. See, you have to repair this one. You have to put the protection from the abutment. Yeah, the cleaning of the vegetation. You can see how much vegetation is grown. That part I just want to discuss about roads, right? I now wanted to discuss about the transportation part of our here. As I said in the beginning, the transportation is an essential function of any society. Without that, I think you won't be here for anything, right? The influence is in the location and the range is all the activities like any production, any leisure activities, all are influenced by the transport. If you have a good transportation, there can be production, maybe industries can be located, right? Ultimately, if you say that our whole life is influenced by the transport. And also the development of society is closely related to the improvement of the transport technology. Especially now, see the Western world, they are say they developed. So what happened if you analyze and see that they have much developed transportation systems, right? That means your society is mainly linked to the society's development is linked to the transportation development and technology development. Actually, as I said in the beginning, the car came to the society, it became a marvelous instrument, right? The people, not like earlier. Earlier, of course, they used maybe bus or rail or like that. But once the car comes, he can decide what he wanted to, where he wanted to go, what time he wanted to go. There's no limit. The man decides what he wanted to go, what he can do, and there's no limitation for the weather or anything. But other mode of transporting, there's a limitation, right? Here you can start from your home to go to the where you want without any others interference or even others help. That creates the situation to increase the mobility of the people. That is the situation where the transportation start to talking about. What are the transport systems? Transportation activities are take place in the major 5 systems. We talked about the highways and roads earlier. Now the next transportation system is the railway, air, water, pipes, and all these have a different modes. Road we have a different mode, cars, bus, right? Rail we have a different modes. Air we have a different helicopters, plane, like that, different modes, right? These are the transport modes, right? You have the rail, you have a different type of thing, right? The trucks and cars, the water, you have ships, boats, pipeline for petroleum, right? Air, you have the lot of different modes. The Sri Lanka, when you talk about Sri Lanka transport, the present transport system consists land, sea and air. Mainly in our situation, we have only this main 3 transporting system. The transporting system is based mainly on a road network which is centered to the Sri Lanka capital Colombo. As I showed you, 98% of the goods are transported on road, right? 92% of the passengers are transported on roads. So mainly the road is our main transport mode. This transport in our country has gone many changes with the political changes, economic changes, lot of changes has happened. Up to 1950, there was a very simple and compact situation. 1956, it was different government institution formed for public transport. It would continue up to 1970. Then with the 1977 open economic, the system was deregularized. The bus system has changed, and lot of cars came in, and lot of activities has happened after 1977. When you talk about earlier the railway, the government considered that the construction of railway was necessary for the advancement of the production and trade and commerce, as I said earlier. The reduction of transport costs were the important part of their development of railway. Earlier, the cart was used to transport coffee, tea, but later the Britishers, they thought that that is very costly. So what they did, actually they started developing the railway. This is the railway network in the 20th century. The railway network is largely the legacy of British colony rule. Very little only we have improved after that. And it was taking only very fractional part of our transport needs. This service of railway started in 1864. The construction of the main railway line from Colombo to Ambepur is about 52 kilometers. That is the start of the railway. This railway was initially built to the transport of coffee, tea from the hill country from to Colombo for exports. Then later, the many years, the transportation of such goods was mainly source of income of the railway. In 1960, the passenger transportation of the started from railway, and it is overtook. The income is came from the passenger transport. Now, of course, mainly only the passenger transport is done by the railway. Good transportation is very limited. Now you can see that this is the situation the British thought why they went to the railway. You can see the cost of transportation of ton mile. Cost of transportation coffee or 62 cents, and the railway only 14 cents. Price, right? 1 rupee, but only 17 cents with the railway. It's very cheaper. So that's why the British start developing the railway. You can see that how profitable those days. This is the right. This is the revenue for main line. This is the expenditure, working expenditure. This is the profit. The whole line they have earned about 4 million rupees for a year. Right? Railway. This is railway income, and say now what is the situation? Pathetic, right? Now we are losing, right? Actually, this is the transport of the coffee and tea. At that time, actually, there is even main that hill line also there. This at the present situation, as I said, it started in 1864. Now we have a broad gauge about 1,293 kilometers. Double tracks we have 258 kilometers. 9.8 train kilometers now they operate in 2012. Passenger kilometers about 5,039 million. Passenger kilometers operated by the railway. These are some of the engine they have. These are the at present situation is the main. They are the lines, railway lines. Main line from main line is from Colombo to Badulla. Coastal line, Puttalam line, Kelvin line, Mahathale line, Northern line, and Manna, Patiklo and Trinco and Mintale. These are the present lines they have in our railway. Actually, before that in Colombo we had a tram cars. They operated by a private company called Colombo Electric Tram Car and Lighting Company. It's operated about half a century, like 50 years they operated in Colombo this one with the 42-inch gauge track. Later, of course, it has been buried into the road, and also there was a strike in these tram cars. And after the strike, the Colombo municipal took over this operation. But after that, it subsequently died down from that situation. Now, of course, now we are trying to build the tram cars or maybe even monorail or something like that in the Colombo. It was there in the earlier, right? We should have continued. Actually, we can say that it should have continued, but it is not the case in the world. The whole world actually, the rail started in earlier. So because of the car population, car increase and car use, it was more popularized. Because of the rail went down for whole world. But it happened to the country also. Then now again the rail is going to start because of the environment and cost, right? The same thing, it is happening. This is our vehicle population at the country now. Of course, now these 2012 figures, 4.8 million vehicles at the end of 2012. Every year, it was about in this range, 300,000 to 350, 400,000 new vehicles are registered. This is the bulk is, I think, the motorcycles. 52% is motorcycle is registered in the country. Motor cars only about 10%. If you talk about the bus industry, earlier I told about 94% of demand is meeting by our bus, right? Rail only only 8%, right? That also had gone several changes. So due to the political situation, it was CTB, then again Sri Lanka Transport, and then the private sector, lot of changes. In 1935, there were about 2,000 buses were operating at the private, it's a private venture in the earlier. Then 1951, formation of private companies. Then 1950 it was nationalized, creation of the Central Transport Board. After 1979, it was again privatized. When you talk about the history of the bus, actually the Sri Lanka Transport Board goes back to 1958. It's known Ceylon Transport Board. At its peak, actually, it was the largest omnibus company in the world. The one largest company in the world is our CTB. It was operating very, very efficiently, right? So with the 7,000 buses, over 50,000 employees, until we privatized in 1979. We should have actually continued then without privatizing. Now we should have done it very efficiently. Of course, issue was politicizing the system. It became a job agencies, right? That was a declining start of the bus industry. Now, of course, we have two categories of operators. Government has about 93 boards having about 50 to 150 buses. Now, of course, altogether it's called Sri Lanka Transport Central Transport Board, Sri Lanka Central Transport Board, SLCTB. They provide the service to all the routes, even uneconomical routes. Private operators, they use only mainly the economic routes. Mostly the single bus operators. This is one of the issue at the moment. They operate only the popular road. They mainly urban and intercity buses they run. They don't go for in the nighttime buses. No timetable. These are some of the statistics, the bus operation. Now you can see the bus fleet. Sri Lanka Transport Board, we have about that 2012, 7,000 buses. Out of 7,700 buses, they are daily operation, they use only 4,300 buses, 314 buses. But in the private sector, how many buses we have? 20,000 buses there, but they are operating about 17,000 buses daily. What they supply is the Sri Lanka Transport Board, they have about 337 million kilometers they provide in the system. With this 20,000 buses, they provide only 800. It's only little, not even 3 times. right? Utilization of the buses are less compared to the CTB buses. Both 4,000 buses they operate and they give only 300 million kilometers. With the 17,000 buses, only 825 million vehicle kilometers they provide. Utilization of buses are very little compared to the CTB. CTB is more efficient in that way. When you talk about a freight, it's completely private sector. Only the railway taking or very little amount, 1% like all the private sector operate in the freight in our country. There are small parties carried by the shipping also. When you go to sea transport, we have mainly the 4 harbors, ports Colombo, Goal, Trincomalee, the new one is Hambantota. They are some of the cargo handle in this seaports. These are the location of the main our ports: Sankasanture, Trincomalee, Hambantota, Goal, and Colombo. Air transport. We have 2 airlines now. Actually, mainly the government airline is the Sri Lankan and Main Lanka. At the moment, we have about 19 airports, 2 international airports and 17 domestic airports. These are their capacity of the airports. About 2 airports is international airport. We have about more than 3 kilometer runway. Others are 6. They are about 1.5 kilometer to 2.4 kilometers. Others are small one. There are 15 is about all surfaced paved runways. There are 4 airports with the unpaved surface. We have some small amount of water transport actually now. It's now used, not much using. Earlier Dutch Canal was there. We have about 160 kilometers waterway in the earlier, but now not much of not using it. We have only pipeline transportation, only the petroleum. From the harbour, we pump the petrol, the crude oil into the refineries with the pipes. That's what altogether is about 62 kilometers pipelines are there in our crude oil transportation. That's the only thing we are using here, but different countries they have a lot of pipeline transportation for especially the petroleum. These are the Dutch canal system actually there. Now I want to talk about the urban transportation. You know, urbanization, with the industrial revolution, the civil life was changed. Industrial revolution, with the industrial revolution, the village it become towns, and the town become cities, and the population start migrating to the town, and we increase the population, the whole world, right? The population increase need to efficient transport system. Then again, as I earlier we discussed, the car came into the world, and then that create a lot of different situation into the people's life. But before World War II, even the car was there, but not much people use because very expensive. Car was very expensive. But with the World War I, the situation changed because they start mass production. Car was able to buy for certain people. So that create a urban situation whole world. The urban transportation is very extremely complex, and there are many dimensions in the urban transport. And when you talk about urban towns, there are many dimensions. When you are giving a solution to the urban problem, transportation problem, we have to consider all these the dimension, all the matters to be discussed, and we have to analyze, and when you are giving solution, you have to address all these situations. It is not simply matter of building a highway or metro rail. there must be also an assessment of the numerous other factors. Now, when you talk about the urban transportation, there are many dimensions. You can see the urban transportation, accident, congestion, fuel use very high, import bills, our fuel bill is very high, and then because of the pollution, environment is going to deterioration. There are many part very discussed, like environment, health, affordability of the people, livelihood, technology, so many things we have to discuss. We'll see that this each and every item, what they mean. When you go to land transport, the most planned cities, they have a very master plan for land use. Actually, some parts they have designated for primary business, some parts they have put it as residential. They have a land use plan. Then only they have developed their cities. Most well-planned cities also have a sections. They have trees, parking area, and green areas. They have decided the land use. They have in such a way, giving some areas residential, some area industries, some area administration. Then they have blend with green patches for proper design cities. Some cities are sprawling. Actually, they are going along the road. So those things, some are very, very compact and dense. Like some Hong Kong, they have very dense and very compact cities. Cities with highly segregated residence and business districts have longer travel distance. If you have a cities with the residential and business area very long different places, you have a long travel distance. From your home to industry, maybe your office, you have to travel long distance. And even sprawling cities also same thing. It will be a long distance. When you for this type of cities, when you are going to provide the transportation, it requires a lot of infrastructure investment. A lot of money had to be put it there. Maybe long distance monorail or had to be built it, like our now in Colombo. Many cities actually they have developed the land use with much business and residence very close to and linked together. They are in that situation. The transportation investment is less, travel distance is shorter. Maybe sometimes they use the walking and cycling for this type of transportation, right? If you have close to resident and industries, in the close, not close, very close, but with a walking distance, because cycling distance, you can have a low energy consumption, and then your environment is more safer, and that type of land use design. So when you talk about environment, if your city is depend on mainly the motor vehicles, the high level is emissions and your air quality is lower. So when you are designing your mode of transport, you have to consider what level of the emission you are going to allow. If you have a public transport, definitely it should be lower emission and it will be clean air. Then you have to limit how we are going to the use of vehicles. Cities that have policies to ensure that their vehicle fleet are well maintained tend to have less pollution. Policies regarding the quality and the regulation related to the amount of emission allowed by a motor vehicle also impact the environment. Our policy, actually the government has to be decided what level of pollution emissions are allowed on the vehicle. That's why now green test is coming into the picture now, right? You are not allowed to degrade the engine to a certain level. These are the pollution of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, the particulate matters. Those are the things actually the pollutant from the transport. Today the climate change is becoming a global concern. Actually, transport is contributed about 14% for human generated greenhouse gases emission. This especially this 40 gas, the greenhouse gases are contributing to the global climate change. The most of the fuel what we use as the petroleum products are carbon based, and it produces these greenhouse gases to the climate, the environment, and it is change the climate at what is happening at the moment. Now, if you see this contribution from the transport is contributing about 14% for the CO2 emission. When you, if you see that the emission of carbon dioxide, the grams per kilometer, you can see that the airplane is about, that is the highest, 130 grams per kilometer they are emit to the environment by air. Thus your car is nearly same, 124 grams per kilometer. When you are, each kilometer you travel, you add CO2 grams, 124 grams to the environment. If you use a bus, only 66 actually, right? Rail, only 45. So very, very efficient in the environment, right? Of course, motor coaches, the big buses, it reduced still. So this is the mode now we are going to use for our cities, right? Otherwise, you will not be able to allow this much of pollution. If you see that, I think you will not feel to travel by car, isn't it? Because of this gas emission, the health problems are coming. Asthma, right? The estimate by the World Health Organization shows that the polluted air is responsible for approximately 8,000 deaths in urban areas in every year. The world, because of this gas emission, right? Some cities, the environment is very bad. Because of this high pollutant by the vehicles, the people who are affected by are the people who are walking on the road, mainly, right? They are the people who get more exposed to this emission. Those who are working, they need more air to breathe, right? So they take more pollutant into their body. So the poor people, those are not contributing to the air pollution, they are the future victims, right? People inside the car, they don't have exposed to that much, right? So here, when you are deciding any mode in the city, you have to consider this, right? This is very, very important, not to pollute your air. Another dimension is the affordability, because the transport in the urban area, the people use every day. So it should be able to afford to that. You can have the system, very, very sophisticated system like, either monorail or maybe some other mode which is very expensive. Can you afford to that? The normal person cannot afford, right? So when you are deciding a system to the urban area, it should be able to people to use it. Otherwise, no point of putting the system. The urban transport is used, you are using the urban transport to reach your workplace, you have to go to market, education institute, right? Every day. Not like, rural area, maybe the interurban, but in urban area, every day the people use. So, any system you are going to put into the urban area, it should be able to build. It should be low cost actually, really. Actually, ensuring affordability means actually the relatively you are charging a low fare, right? That means the operator should be able to recover the cost, or you have to give the subsidy to him. If you are asking the bus operators to run the buses, right? So we should be able to give the subsidy for him to run in a lower cost, right? If you put a monorail or something like that which is expensive, which the people cannot afford, so maybe the government had to give a subsidy when you are deciding that, right? Then other dimension, the livability. The urban transport is important in livelihood because large number of trips are in urban area are made by the purpose of reaching the workplace. You are actually when to go to workplace, you have to use this urban transport system. So it should not be, if the transport cost is very high, the people are able to seek a job only very limited area. If the transport is very expensive, you may not go very far to looking for job, right? So you cannot afford to go to the remote area, longer distance. So you should be able to afford the transport system. The kind of transport system is in use also affect the livelihood by affecting the employment, public transport system. For example, large extensive bus systems tend to employ the more people and than the monorail or metro system. So if you have a bus system, you can employ a lot of people. That also creates some jobs for our people. And also in the transport system, you have to, the other dimension is the technology available. There are a lot of technologies now developed, like the BRT, monorail, light rail, MRT, mass transit. There are so many technologies are available. You have to decide which technology you are going to use, depending on your situation. As I said, health, affordability, cost, right, and the terrain, all these dimensions have to consider, and also economically viable. It should be economically viable when you are deciding any system, right? There are a lot of range technologies choices are offered at the moment. Public transport, a lot of technologies are available. There are the light rail, as I said, the monorail. Then the engineering part also there. A lot of engineering intervention is required in the urban transport. You need to put some bridges, you need to put some proper road network, right? All the infrastructure have to be developed by the engineering intervention and the proper management of the engineering projects. See, this is just to give some example of how we are going to use one bus and how many cars, 40 cars and one bus. You can, the space you can, this picture is demonstrate how the public transport and the private transport, how the space they are using. Then the economy, as I said, any system you are going to put into the urban area, we need to consider economy. Urban transport has an economic dimension, and what makes the economic sense is not that the individual, but it is value for the society, whole society. Whether the country can afford to do that, right? That economic analysis has to be done, and the value for money has to be make sure when you are proposing any system to the urban area. And also how we are going to get the money for that work. How we are going to meet the capital cost, how we are going to meet the operation and cost. Those things we have to consider when you are proposing any system to the urban area. And how we are going to recover the cost, whether what type of tax are going to impose on the people, right? Then again, one important question also, politics. Politics and the governance play an important role in urban transport planning, especially in our democratic countries like us. Any government in power will tend to be attracted towards the investment that can help the upcoming election, right? Even if they mean the larger than the necessary expenditure for the facility to be created. That's the normal. Any government is do that. They will want to show a very big one, right? Which if they can get some votes, they will go preference. And also we have to consider the human behavior. Without considering the human behavior, you cannot give the any system. Like, you know, actually some countries they prefer the cycling consider as the poor man's transport, right? Some countries cycles they consider as the health supporter, right? Like, you know, some European countries, Sweden, that type of, even the cyclings they don't consider as a poor man transport, right? So if you put it, now if you any person is coming to the office by bicycle, you will think that he is very stingy fellow, right? He don't want to spend the money like that, isn't it? That attitude had to change. This this situation has to actually change in our society. If you have a car, then actually especially in our we keep our cars not to travel also, right? To show our our status. If you park your BMW in front of your house, you will show that you are very high class person like that. That is our, you know, that is normally our countries. We do everything, right? This is actually some people, you know, some countries they like to buy a car and go to the work with the car, even if you spend a lot of time on the road. Maybe you will bring a car and you, in the congestion, you will stay for hours and hours, right? But maybe if you use the bicycle, maybe you will within a few minutes you will be at your place. You will not use it. Issue of human behavior also is very important in dimension in deciding these factors of urban transport. How far people like to walk, right? That where we decide. If our country, can we walk about 500 meters, right? Very difficult because of sweating, sun, right? If you want the people to walk to the public transport that much of distance, then you have to provide the facility. Maybe you have a covered walkway, like that. When you are deciding a system, you have to provide this facility, right? You can't just tell, you know, our bus route is like that. You all have to come and walk to this one and then use the bus. That will not work. Then we have to consider the different type of people. You know, the disabled people, school children, small fellow people, some people who are taking the children, all has to be considered when you are deciding a system for the urban area, right? Then also gender, you have to consider that. Some countries, of course, no, the woman and the man is sitting in the same seat, right? If you are putting a bus system, you have to consider that also, right? In our buses we have put clergy, right? For a monk we have put a separate place, right? For our, like that we have to put, now say some countries they have the issue of gender. They don't allow to sit together. So when you are developing a system for your place, now we have to consider this also, right? And also terrain is very important. Flat terrain very easy, and you can have a lot of technology. When you come to the hilly terrain, there are different type of technology you have to consider. Different mode of have to be considered in you are giving the solution to the urban area. It's like this, terrain is geological features, sea, near the sea, river, all these constraints have to be considered when you are providing the facility in the urban area, urban transport facility. Another very important dimension is the safety. There are a lot of accidents is happening due to the traffic, right? The world actually 1.2 million is dying every year because of the road accident. How much our country is death toll per day? Per day, 6 to 7, right? 6 to 7 dying every day because of the road accident. In the urban area, we have to be very careful because a lot of urban area, the people who are dying is the poor, the people who are walking on the road. So when you are developing a system, you have to consider that part. And also the very important part is the energy, right? This is the fuel prices. You have to consider that. When you are developing a system, it should be an energy efficient system to develop for the urban area. These are the many dimensions of the urban area here. So many dimensions in the urban transport. All have to be considered when you are deciding a urban transport system, any place, any country, any city. If you consider one or two and then you develop a system, it will lead to a loss. It will create a problem. Then as a summary, the urban transport is very complex. We need to consider all the dimensions. The piecemeal approach will not help. Because of that, the comprehensive transport planning is very much essential, and considering all these dimensions. When you talk about the Colombo, actually we have a difficult situation at the Colombo now, right? Colombo we have facing every day, lot of congestion, lot of issues. So what are the solution for us? What is when you are talking about Colombo, actually we have a western province about 5.84 million people, and it's going to be increased about 7.9 in 2035. So our situation is going to be worse in Colombo. These some of the traffic figures actually they are entering the Colombo. You can see that lot of cars and traffic entering about 567,000 vehicles daily enter the Colombo city, right? When you talk about the Colombo area, our road network is very inefficient. Current traffic demand is mean that the roads are almost capacity or exceed capacity. Especially the road traffic between CMC and eastern part in the suburban area as a Battaramulla depend only one major road, like that is the state road, state drive. That is the main road to the Battaramulla area. Because of that major road, all the traffic from both are concentrating into that road. There is no other parallel road, no other capacity. So because of that, lot of congestion is taking in that corridor. And also we don't have walkways anywhere in the very limited area. We have only walkways, no place to walk. Urban area, the pedestrian traffic flows facilities are very limited. Actually, only few arterial roads have provided sidewalks. Especially Colombo Gold Road. Now, of course, in that area they have provided a little space for the walkway. Not enough urban now for a walkway is not adequate to the urban situation. And also we have an issue of the road design standards, not uniform standards. Some are narrow, some are acceptable, and we have a standard for the interurban design. Even RDA we have standards, but for the urban situation we don't have much standard here. We have to redesign our standards now. Normally our designs are standards are good for the interurban area for high speed, but in the urban area the speeds are lower, so we have to have some standard to suit that level. And also when you are doing any design or anything in urban area, we don't consider the public transport. Now say we have designed the Gold Road, but how many buses are coming on the road? Have we considered that in our design? Not enough. Any design what we are providing, whether we are providing adequate bus space, bus holds. Even if you put a bus hold, whether it is adequate to the number of buses to stop in a one time. We are not considered. That is not a good situation. Because ultimately, as I earlier told, the public transport is the one who is going to serve the urban area. Especially the Colombo, that is now we have to consider. When you are doing any design, we should consider the provision of the public transport. Maybe I don't know whether we can go for even a bus only lane. We have to accommodate that part now. We don't have the center median even to run the monorail or maybe the light rail. We don't have that. And also we don't have the master plan actually in our urban area Colombo. Some road we have developed by road development authority, some road developed by CMC, but there is no link. There is no coordination in our development. No master plan for our urban development. And also we have developed some expressways, Katna Expressway, Southern Expressway from Kottava, but come to the urban area, there is not enough link. We have to develop these links. From Goal, they come to Kottava within 1 hour, but from Kottava to Colombo, there is another 1.5 hours. That is not an advisable situation. So we have to do something for that. And also our port is located in Colombo, and that was creating a lot of traffic issues in the Colombo area because of the good transport, right? So there is no separate access to the port, which is we required now. We have to consider when you are having any situation, any design, any solution to the urban situation in Colombo, we have to consider this port connectivity. That's very, very important. The last the studies done in 2013 with the Comtrans study, the Ministry of Transport, when they analyze, they have identified there is a drastic increase in the vehicle population in the Colombo area. 2.5-fold increase of the vehicles in the Colombo area. These are the areas actually now the populations are growing now. You can see that the Colombo area is population is reducing now. The other areas in the area is going to increase the population because of this transport. You can't. Can you remember? I don't know whether sometime back, about 10-15 years back, we used to go to the PETA to buy some of our shirt or anything, right? But now, anybody want to go there? No way. You don't considering go there, right? So the actual business are reducing in that area. Now population are getting reduced because there is no access. If the situation continue, then the city is going to die. This is the vehicle levels, different corridors. You can see that Malabar corridors, highest number of vehicles in this Malabar corridor, right? And next one is Candy corridor. Then the Goal corridor, right? Then the high level, low level and high level corridors. Those are the corridors with the high vehicles. When you talk about the passengers, you can see that Malabar corridor becomes second, but the Candy corridor becomes very high. Number of the passengers are coming, right? But less vehicle. But Malabar corridor we have very high vehicles, but less people. Why? There is no proper bus corridor. All cars, right? This is a vehicle population increase, how we are increase it. You can see that how the motorcycle increase, right? This green one is the motorcycle. Lot of motorcycle increase because of this transport issue. The people thought that it is the most easiest mode to use the motorcycle to come to the city area because to beat the congestion, right? That also create the situation where the accidents, right, because of the motorbikes. Then this is the pollution, air pollution, carbon monoxide emissions drastically increase. We cannot continue this situation. We have to change this situation. Now this is the capacity and the demand. You can see that the Candy corridor, the capacity only 3,700. The demand is 5,000. The Malambe corridor, we have a capacity of 6,000 and demand is 7,000. So we have to meet this demand now. We have to provide them additional, to meet this demand. If you add more vehicles, you will not be able to go any trips on this road. These are some trips generated from each present and future situation, 2013 situation, and then 2035, how much the demand is going to be. Right. So what are the solutions they have proposed? Right? These are the solutions they have proposed in the study. One is the modernizing railway. Are you agree with that? Right? Actually, the railway can play a big role in our country, especially the Gold Road and even the main line, Kampa. Right? Even Ratnapura line, now you can just imagine Gold Road when you see the morning. The buses are coming like a trains, right? One bus next to a bus. Continuously buses coming. If you can have a proper train service, all these people can divert into the rail, right? We have to modernize the railway because that is the most very important. Electrification has proposed, but only thing it's not happening now. I don't know why the railway department is not doing it. We could have done it very easily. Not much of expenditure, only they have to have some proposal. Of course, maybe not the donor agencies, especially they not much prefer, right? They prefer to go to roads because they can sell the cars, right? So we have to decide. We have to decide what we are going to do. Railway modernization is very important. Right? Then new transit system like MRT, LRT, monorail and all this. And also they have proposed a multimodal transport hub. Right? And then integrated transport facility have to be there. Of course now BRT, the bus rapid transit and signalizing and traffic management. At the moment actually signalized junctions, we have 120 odd junctions are signalized, but also individual, CMC and RDA. But all individual junctions are cooperating, which is creating also situation, creating congestion. Because if you have a green light to you, then when you go to the next junction, it's red. You have to stop there. So it is not continuing. Then our RDA is doing actually the design to have a system with centralized control. If you implement the centralized control traffic system, at least you can reduce some of, you can start a little moving the vehicle away. And also the demand management has to be there. We have to control the parking. Maybe you have to put a road pricing, electronic road pricing, right? You should not allow the vehicle to come as you like. And also big issue is this one, the institutional issue. We have many institutions at the moment. You talk about the transport, many bus transport, how many ministries are there now? Different ministries, not an institution. Road, how many ministries, how many institutions? No way of coordinating this, right? Very difficult. If you private bus, there is a different ministry, CDB, there is a different ministry, major roads, they have a different ministry, other local roads, different ministry, provincial road, different ministry, right? And the three-wheelers and railway, different ministries. So many agencies, ministries. No policy towards coordination. That's very, very important. Actually, the intermodal coordination is very important to have a very good system for the transport. When you are proposing a public transport, you should be able to attract the people. We have discussed a lot of dimension on that. It's only any transport we are providing, it should be meet all these the dimensions, right? It should be very comfortable, it should be high speed, it should be high frequency, otherwise people will not use. Because the people, they use the car because they want a convenient, right? And if they don't want to get, now, if the person who is using the car at the moment, if you ask him to come to the bus, will he come there? No, because he cannot get crumbled inside the bus, right? So you have to provide him a comfortable transport. He should be able to sit and come, right? So we should be able to provide that facility. And also, if you tell that, okay, you can use a bus, but one bus is going like that, then you have to get down there and get another bus and to go to the office. The people may not like. So you have to have one less transfers, right? Even if you transfer, there should be a very easy transfer facility. He don't like to get 2-3 tickets, right? He should be able to get one ticket and transfer and go. When you go there, you should be there train or bus there, right? That type of had to be there. When you are developing a system, you have to consider this type of situation when you are providing the technology and system to the urban transport. And also you have to consider the transport demand management. Like, you have to put a thumb toll when you are coming into the city, there should be charge. If you come in the congestion situation, there will be high charge. Or maybe you have to tell that you can bring a car, but you have to have 4 passengers inside the car. Otherwise you will charge. Right? Like that policy have to bring it. It's very, very difficult. Maybe the politician will not take the decision, especially like in our country with the many elections, right? And also any system, it should be economically viable. Government should be able to invest, and it should be financially viable if possible. May not be, the financial may not be viable for a private sector. For in case of government, I think can economically viable, it's okay. These are some of the system they have proposed actually, like as I said earlier, the BRT from Gold Road, Candy Road, the baseline road, bus rapid transit, the bus flows, right? And bypass road lane, Oran Road and Low Lane Road, bypass road lane. And also rerouting of buses, that's very, very important, right? Rerouting of buses now. This bus route at the moment is first decided, I think, very, very long time back, isn't it? Now after that lot of development has taken place, and the people's need of travel is different now, different locations, but no buses, right? So these bus routes are completely different from what we require now. So we have to redesign the bus routing, which is very difficult. Now if you ask the one bus route people to go there, definitely there will be strike next day, right? And they don't like to go on timetable. These are have to take a very, very policy decision, very high level policy decision, right? Of course, I believe that if you can get a very good, stable government, they may go for that. Without the stable government, definitely it is very difficult for us to decide on this. Of course, railway modernization is very, very important, as I said earlier. It's very, very important for railway modernization. These are they have proposed the bus routes in these corridors. Some of the corridors they have proposed the baseline bus corridors, right? Now they are the Ministry of Transport. Now they are trying to develop a bus BRT along the Gold Road. maybe some one-way system. They want to develop this bus route. They have some interurban expressway links. They propose to express a link from here to this area, some links here, and some monorail, also monorail corridor, some monorail corridors here. These are the proposed monorail corridor from Malabe to Colombo, and then there port area, and there's a link. You go to the Vattal area, and there is a multimodal hub here. All the railway, monorail, bus, all the multimodal location in the port area they have proposed. This is the multimodal development, the monorail, the station plaza, intermodal bus terminal, railway platform, all bus, VRT, taxiways, all are combined together in one place. Right? This is the proposal there. At least some part is good. Now we can do that. Okay. Any questions you want to discuss or anything? Anything? Actually, I have 2-3 years I have marked this paper. A lot of people write that answers. Please to try to answer the question clearly and go to the point. Maybe you need to write some detail. Careful with the language. Some are very bad in language. Right? Even I can't read some places. Please, as engineers, now you all are now matured engineers. After, I hope they all are 4 to 5 years. Now 4 years in the university, you have done your studies in English, and after that you have come to your workplace. 2-3 years you have done your studies in the workplace. There is no for you to excuse to have without bad English. We are very bad in English, but you should be able to write something in that way. We are not going to do 100% like European or maybe Britishers, but you have to able to express yourself in English. Please study that part, right? And try to answer clearly to the point, right? Not that difficult to pass, it's easy, right? The question will be asked based on what we have discussed today, right? We have to read a little bit more also, right? We will not go beyond much on that. Please, as engineers, you cannot, there's no excuse, right? You should be able to communicate with otherwise, the profession is going to be, we have to compete with the other professions. Please, now engineers have to come into the front. So all this now say Europe, where China, Korea, even Japan, all Japan, a lot of the people in the decision makers are engineers. Yeah, our situation different. Our engineers are going back. That's why I asked you to come in front. So you have to come in the front, right? You have to take the lead role in your economy, our country development. So because of that, expression of what you feel is very important. In that situation, English is very important. Please write it, read it carefully. You go through now. You can go this. You can take this presentation, right? Go through it 2-3 times. Then you will be easy to answer the questions, right? Good luck. If you don't have any questions.